welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown, the unofficial sumo podcast for official sumo fans. This is Ryan.
This is Jake.
And this is Mac.
And this is our... What are we laughing at?
Because
you put a little extra juice into that one because it's your last
he did.
one.
And I think he knows it's because it's his last hurrah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
No, I honestly wasn't thinking about it being my last one for this year, 2026. I'm going to be back on top.
Fair.
Here, let's
Potentially,
try this again. Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown, the unofficial sumo podcast for official sumo fans. This is Ryan.
You know what? I kind of want to just retroactively edit that into every episode we've ever done.
Well, good thing we have it recorded.
If you haven't listened to our end of year Pro Sumo Award show, the stakes of our year-long predictions are the order in which we introduce ourselves on the show for the next year, which is why we went Ryan, then Fleric, then me, then Mac for all of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So I forget, Mac, who's in fourth place this coming year?
Me, the illustrious fourth place position. It is mine.
You're doing a repeat?
Nobody else can have it. Nobody else can have. Hey, I did better than last year, though. So I'm okay with that. In terms of numbers of prediction points, I did better.
There were more categories than last year, so
you shut the hell up. You shut the hell up, sir.
But Ryan did not win. There's a...
I mean, you, me, and Fleric tied for the most points. Just bull crap ensued.
So there are...
Bull crap that you orchestrated.
A little bit.
You made these rules.
You can go back and listen to that one if you want the full argument, but like me and Fleric have like a bit of a
Argument's not over.
Yeah.
This will be going on well into 2025.
Ryan is well secured in third place, which means between me and Fleric, one of the two of us will be introducing the shows for 2025, but it will not be
TBD.
Ryan.
But today, we are talking about our December news update. Turns out not a whole lot going on in December, but you know what? Somebody retired just yesterday and gave us
what the heck?
Big heap of helping something to talk about. So we'll get to that in a moment. But first, we'll just talk about our new promotions to discuss. And this time, the only promotions we have to talk about are people that are moving up to Juryo. So moving up to Juryo for the first time in his career, we have Hatsuyama, 25 years old, out of Tamanoi Beya. He was the top Makushita Rikishi last time, and I believe he had a 5-2 record. Sumo DB is like giga down right now, and so I can't
giga down.
It's been like down all day, and it just... You click on the website, and it's just like service unavailable. It's not like a 404 page. It's whatever a 503 error is.
Did they get
not
like
good?
Does like somehow the video copyright from the JSA or NHK?
Oh no,
I don't know.
They're cracking down in the other databases.
they
weren't
just
satisfied.
Way too trigger happy. Yeah.
So yeah, Hatsuyama will be up in Juryo for the first time in his career in January, and returning to Juryo is Kiryuko, 22 years old, out of Tatsunami Beya. This will be his second promotion up to Juryo. His first was just in September of this last year. So he dipped down to Makushita, but he's right back up, not staying down for too long at all. I believe that means we are saying goodbye to Chiyomaru out of Juryo, and also Onosho out of Juryo, but Onosho took matters into his own hands, and he decided to retire after a myriad of injuries. Saw him drop out of the top division this year and even down into Makushita following this basho. So on the Bansuke, he'll still be in Makushita. He didn't announce his retirement until well after the Bansuke was created. So he'll still be on there, but that'll be the last Bansuke Onosho is on. So he had his press conference earlier today to shed some light on the reason he decided to retire and what he's got coming up. So in addition to old injuries in the right ankle and knee, he hurt both of his shoulders in May of this year and was unable to get his same power that he had been. And he said, "It's not Onosho Sumo. I'm no longer in shape to wrestle."
Ouch.
In his press conference, quite a bit of conversation about his chief rival, Taka Keisho. And so referencing Taka Keisho, he said, "We have similar builds, so maybe this was our limit. As Onosho, similar to Takakeisho, who retired just the Basha before him, both were 28 years old.
Yeah,
at
they were
time
the
of their
same year in
retirement.
school, right? Like
Yes.
that was a storyline I was going to bring up was these guys didn't pan out as much as we hoped it would, but
Mhm.
like these guys had first wrestled each other in sumo all the way back in like middle school.
Yeah.
Mm.
So like they had, even though Takakeisho was obviously more successful, they were both still two of the best in the world and kind of helped each other. I hope that in the background there was some amount of friendly rivalry, but like I don't think that's something that we can confirm too much. But
Well, I think we can confirm it now. So speaking about his
oh,
rival
does he? Yeah.
Takakeisho, Onosho says,
Mm.
until now we were both active and couldn't express our honest feelings to each other. But I told him, thank you so much. I'm glad we were able to live in the same era. And Onosho had texted Takakeisho that he was retiring, and Takakeisho responded back to him with just like, we did our best, didn't we? Um, more
That's a series finale
tried.
quote if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
We tried.
More about Takakeisho. Onosho said his most memorable match was against Takakeisho back in January of 2023. He said, we've known each other for a long time and we were competing for the championship on the highest stage. At this point, on day 13 of January 2023, Onosho was 10-2. And so he was very much in the Yusho race at the time that this match took place. It was special because we both worked hard together. Of course, I didn't want to lose, but I was happy. It's a treasure for the rest of my life. It's been a truly happy sumo career. So, what is up next for Onosho? He's not going to be sticking around in the JSA. He will not be taking on an elder stock and becoming a coach. He is going to be joining a beauty company that deals in soaps and cosmetics made with horse oil. So he said, I myself have sensitive skin and horse oil has helped me. So I would like to be of help to people in the same situation. I have a family, so I have to work hard. I'm looking forward to my new life. That is not the direction I think many sumo wrestlers take in their career after deciding to hang it up. Many
You'd
go
be surprised.
At least one.
Specifically into cosmetics?
Yeah. And it sounds
Yep.
even more
Well,
specifically.
no, my
No,
my
horse
reference is
oil.
you'd be surprised. I'm like, how many specifically
No,
went into
I'm just-
cosmetics? I mean, no shame, no shame at all. I mean, sensitive skin, hey, it's crazy, and whatever oils and slabs you put on and works, cool. But I'm just like, that's a unique career path.
It's a bonus episode that I'm not leaving. I'm just here to talk shit. So
Oh.
that's all I'm going for.
I
thought you had some stat.
God, no. Oh yeah, let me bring up the horse oil stats on sumo retirements.
How many wrestlers went into cosmetics after sumo?
That I don't know, but I can tell you so much about horse oil right now.
Ryan went down a deep rabbit hole, didn't he?
I barely skimmed Wikipedia. Horse ointment, known as horse oil and horse fat, is a topical formulation derived from subcutaneous fat of horses. All right.
Interesting.
So it is horse ointment was traditionally prepared and used in ancient China for the treatment of qi deficiency, hemorrhoids, burns, and xeroderma. What is xeroderma?
What is xeroderma?
Dry skin?
Is skinlessness?
No, Xero.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, to be honest, as somebody living in the Midwest in the winter, I could use as many ideas as possible for helping dry skin.
Moisturizer, please.
I haven't delved into the horse-derived treatment area, but maybe that's something I need to do.
Horse ointment contains vitamin F, which exerts a natural anti-inflammatory effect and prevents flare-ups of acne. It can also increase the repairing of damaged skin cells and speed up the fading of scars. Had no idea that horse oil was a thing, but you know what? Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, apparently.
Don't know
All
about
right.
We've got a
don't know
weird
if-
thing in the West about like not using horses as livestock.
That's
So
what I
that
was
definitely
gonna
makes
say.
me feel kind of wonky or
Like-
about that. But
Yeah, some people, myself included, are kind of like weird on eating horses over here, and so like turning them into like oils and ointments, I'm sure has the same effect on people. Like if somebody says,
feels
"Oh
just
yeah,
as
I got some
strange, yeah.
dog ointment that I put on my acne and cleared it right up."
yeah. But like anybody that's spent time around like cows are just bigger dogs, you know? Like it's
Yeah.
not like it's not like attitude wise they're animals are all that different from each other. It's just different cultures have decided some of them are not okay.
But I get cheese out of a cow. It's delicious. It's
It's-
milk.
I mean, I
It's
eat
butter.
cow. I eat cow, but like I don't eat horse. Just feels weird.
Fair.
Um, Onosho's Danpatsu Shiki will be held in the Ryogoku Kokuki-kan on June 1st next year. Personally, for us, Onosho, he kind of was arriving on the scene the same time that we started watching sumo. I don't have it directly in front of me because Sumo DB has been axed apparently. But yeah, he's the guy who started his career, the first guy ever, I think, to start his career with 3 consecutive double-digit wins in the Makuuchi division. That rocketed him straight to Komosubi after his first 3 basho.
Yep, that was May, July, and September of 2017. September being the first basho that we did as a group on our podcast. So yeah, that incredibly quick to Komosubi and then instantly got injured and was just kind of never really displayed that same consistent success as he did in that first year.
Yep, he got to Komosubi, got a winning record in his 4th basho in the top division at Komosubi.
Super impressive.
But then he got like a knee ligament injury in his 2nd basho at Komosubi. He missed most of that basho and the entirety of the following basho. Dropped down to Juryo, came back from Juryo, and then, like Jake said, never really got it going the same way again. For a while, he was just always constantly bouncing back and forth between like the joy, then he'd have a bad record, go down to like Maegashira 789. Then he'd have good record, back in the joy, bad record. And
the old
just kind of
2020's Takayasu.
I don't know. Did he ever make it back up to Komusubi? I don't think he did.
He made Maegashira 1 at least once. I'm seeing a couple 2s in here. But yeah, he was in the top division from, let's see, July of 2018 all the way up until this recent injury where he had to sit out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight years in the top division. That is incredibly impressive.
Yep. So we'll miss Onosho. You always knew what Onosho was going to do. He's just going to run straight forward at you, and if you slightly got out of his way, he was going to slip forward on his own face. But he was a fun guy to watch, and he was one of the first guys like, oh, he could be like the next big thing. And unfortunately, that knee injury.
Yep.
It sounds like it played a part in what forced him to retire. It sounds like he never really fully got over that knee injury, and so it finally has taken him out.
He did have some of the best face plants. Like you said, if you could manage to get out of his way, his momentum would just carry him forward. Some of his face plants were just gorgeous. But if you didn't get out of his way, you were done. It's like you were completely screwed because that man was coming straight for you.
Yeah. I really appreciated him in our early days being one of the few guys that we were like educated enough to like understand and talk about his style as a specific thing. Like he was kind of like, you could say, similar to Abi, who wants to go straight forwards, but he was a little bit different because he preferred to just do pushing as opposed to backwards dancing. He was a lot of Takakeisho, but Takakeisho has a little bit of variety and a lot more like thrusting to him, and Onosho's a little bit different. But like, yeah, very, very early on, we were able to recognize, this guy's a pure pusher, and I bet you could henka him pretty good. And it happened a few times. Yeah. No, he was a good guy to watch. And yeah, he just kind of, he had an excellent career when you look at it like from the outside. But yeah, based on that early promise, it does feel like a little bit of a letdown that he never made it back up to the Sanyaku.
Yep. And it looks like he got 2 Kinboshi in his career. I know at least one against Hakuho. I don't know who the second one was against. Where are you at? Where you're?
I'm on Wikipedia. Wikipedia is awesome for sumo stuff. It's definitely my second
too, but I don't know the quickest way to scan to find all. Oh,
it's at the bottom.
I found it.
His if you're looking for the record, it's down at the bottom. If you're looking for like the specific stats, like his overall career record was 473 and 422. So better than 500 is not common. That's very good.
Yeah.
But like that stuff is all way up in the top corner under his picture.
Okay. Good to know. Might have to start relying on this Sumo DB.
At least learn it well enough to use it as a backup. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this episode is not only a funeral for Onosho's career, but also for Sumo DB. As I
Apparently.
as it's been gone for 8 hours, so I assume it's never coming back.
We hardly knew you.
Yes. And so turns out in December in sumo, there's typically not a whole lot of news. There's no hair cutting ceremonies to talk about. Nobody's getting married or announcing that they've had kids, because when you're out on the Jungyo tour, you're not really doing all those events. I think a lot of the weddings and stuff happens between Hatsu and Haru, because they don't do a Jungyo tour during that time. So you get a lot of that personal news kind of during February. No major shakeups with the Heias. Nobody's opened up a new Heia. Nobody's changing Heias. Nobody's switched their Kabu. There's no like
we don't really have any debuts either, because that generally happens roughly spring as well, isn't it? Isn't it the March tournament where like you get the big influx of newbies?
Yes. And also, luckily, we haven't had any scandals this month to talk about, but we do have some.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Some miscellaneous news items to talk about. The Sandanbe division will be shrinking again for the Hatsu Basho. So this time it's going to be moving from 90 Rikshi in Sandanme down to 80 Rikshi in Sandanme. That's just due to the fact there's less people coming into sumo right now. There's not as many people in the JSA, so they shrink in the Sandanme division. It had been 100 Rikshi in Sandanme up to just a couple of years ago. I'm not exactly sure when that shrunk down to 90, but it's only been 2 to 3 years, if that. Something else that's interesting, a high school Rikshi will be given the Tsukedashi status for the first time ever. Saito Chugo, he's 17 years old and the younger brother of Juryo Rikshi Waka Ikari, who's only like 19 years old himself, will be Sandanme Tsukedashi in Hatsu. So we do have one new guy coming up, and I know there's another guy that's getting Makushita Tsukedashi status, but he's not the first ever to do that or something, so we'll see him when we see him. But this one was notable because it's the first time a high school wrestler has been gifted that status.
And is that now the highest you can get for a debut ranking?
Like no, you can still do Makushita Tsukedashi. You just start at the bottom of Makushita.
Oh, that's what it was. Instead of like the 10 or 15 that they used to do.
Gotcha.
But he'll be Sandanme, so he'll be starting at the bottom of the Sandanme division.
That's still two divisions he gets to skip. So that's about 4 months worth of sumo, and if he had to start from the bottom.
Yep. Just like Wakataka Kage, that's where he started. Asanoyama started as the Sandanme Tsukedashi. So something else, the Hakuho Cup will indeed be going forward in 2025. It will be under the responsibility of Isegahama Oyakata, as Hakuho or Miyagino Oyakata is no longer the head stable master at a stable. His stable was absorbed into Isegahama, so Isegahama's kind of just taken that responsibility upon himself. So that'll be taking place on February 11th. And I will say there was some uncertainty on if this event would be taking place after the scandal that occurred last year.
That's kind of weird, because the Hakuho Cup isn't necessarily like a professional duty of Hakuhos. It's kind of like, isn't it more along the lines of like a celebrity charity event kind of deal? Like
that's how I understood it.
Maybe I misunderstood, but like why? Like if I were to have some scandal on my podcast, like my boss from work wouldn't come in and like supervise my podcasting, right?
I'm sure it's all like he's got to do everything through the JSA. I'm sure. I don't know the complete details around the formation and running of the Hakuho Cup. Unfortunately, I don't have that insider track.
Speaking of the insider track, as part of the U.S. Sumo Federation, I do hear like announcements that go around the amateur sumo world. And the Hakuho Cup was directly noticed to the USSF last week. So
last week,
that's when they said, yeah, it's happening.
Well, yeah, but like, I guess I should say there will not be any Americans there this year. 2 months is not enough time to get together a team of youth wrestlers to fly across the entire world to compete.
Right.
But yeah, I guess they were Yeah, you're right. If things were in doubt, that kind of makes sense that they would wait till things were official.
last minute.
But at the same time, like, why bother? Just you can't really expect a ton of attendance from international teams. But for what it's worth, they do extend that to the amateur sumo governing bodies around the world. So if they were to say right now that the 2026 Hakuho Cup is on this date in this location, yeah, we'd be all over it. We'd start gathering, we'd start putting out the call, recruiting people, getting plane tickets figured out for our youth wrestlers and such. But yeah, 2 months is not enough time to figure out a Japan trip. That's a lot.
Yeah, the article that I saw did mention like some amateur sumo wrestlers from Ukraine would be coming over for the event. So event will be on February 11th. So yeah, not a lot of time. It's going to feature 1,100 boys aged from 5 to 3rd year of junior high school. And Miyagino Oyakato is quoted as saying, "I am re-examining my life up until now, honestly facing my mistakes and arrogance, and spending my days reflecting and studying. The main characters of the Hakuho Cup are the children." So he's just saying, like, hey, this event isn't about me. It's got my name on it, but it's not about me. It's about the children. And
That's still
that was
important, though. But
that was something I think Isekahama had said as well, as like, wouldn't be fair to keep this event from like the children who compete in it. And don't remember if it was Isekahama Oyakata or Hakuho that had said, like, if I take a break from it for like a year or two because of the current circumstances, it's like, that's not a huge deal to me. I can do this for decades down the line, but this could be the last year that a child will be eligible for it, and they don't want to take that away from them and disappoint them in that way.
yep, punishing Hakuho by not allowing him to do this would be punishing other people a lot more than it would be punishing Hakuho.
Yes. Which you can make that argument about how some of his stable stuff was handled, but
I
move
wouldn't,
on.
but you could.
Yeah,
You could.
you could.
I'm like I said, I'm honestly fine. I would have been fine if they kicked Hakuho out. I think it was they about did. So
Yeah, that's what I said. They got close.
Got as
we don't
close
need
as you
to-
can get, as far as I'm aware.
yeah, we don't need to relitigate all of that. Another.
We could, though.
Yeah.
Do we just want to talk about
No, let's move on.
being a dick?
I'm just saying we don't have a ton of material for this episode.
No. Another pretty big announcement, exciting for some foreign sumo fans, especially if you live in London, England. The JSA has announced that October 15th through the 19th in 2025 at the Royal Albert Hall, there will be a 5-day tournament that takes place, an exhibition of sumo. This is going to be the first overseas event since, I believe, Las Vegas in 2005.
Oh, wow.
So there's 2 different kinds of like overseas events. There is a Koen and then there is a Jungyo. So in the past, they've done foreign Jungyo tours before. Those are sponsored by local advertisers. This event that's going to be happening in England is a Koen. This is a cultural performance set up by the JSA itself. So it is advertised as including Dohyo Iri and the bouts of top division wrestlers. Some English media that I have seen is promoting it as like an actual tournament that counts. It is not. It is a 5-day exhibition. This will not affect the Bansuke. This will not count as a Yusho in any way, shape, or form. This is just a cultural exhibition, but obviously some of the Western media that is not familiar with sumo and all the terminology and how it's actually structured, they don't know that, so they're just kind of running with what they think is right, it seems like.
It's a sumo tournament.
It counts. I've seen
no.
like I've seen like BBC maybe that said like, hey, this is the second ever tournament held outside of Japan for sumo, and they're talking. Their first one that they're referencing was a 1991 event that was also held in Royal Albert Hall in London, England, which was the same thing, a 5-day exhibition.
I was about to ask.
No
like,
bearing
was
on
it
the
another
Bansuke
Cohen?
or any official stat.
Well, for one, I could probably off the top of my head name 20 other sumo tournaments that happened
Grand
outside of
Sumo Tournament.
You didn't say grand. Did they? If they include that word, I'll take it back. But
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. They might have.
I'm just saying it gets really funny in when I don't know. I don't want to say like uneducated media because they're probably just doing their best and they don't have a lot of opportunities to report on sumo. But like, yeah, people definitely mix up the definitions of what each kind of tournament is.
And honestly,
like if you were to see like the local press release on like U.S. nationals or something like that, there could be a wide variety of ways that is described as how important that tournament is, or what it's about, or whether it's a professional tournament or anything like that. Like it's kind of a crapshoot because sumo is foreign to 99% of the people.
Yeah, if somebody was to tell me like, hey, there's going to be a cricket event held in Des Moines, Iowa. You have an hour to write an article about this event that's going on. I'd probably be just as inaccurate as this is. I'm zero
hitting
blame.
Wikipedia. What's going on?
I no blame onto these people. They have no idea what sumo is, and it's in a completely different language. Yeah, but
I would call
keep an eye out and
cricket
don't buy it.
I would call it Grand Cricket Breakdown. It's a podcast based in England. They're amateurs, but they're really knowledgeable.
So tickets will be on sale for this event in early 2025 for all of our foreign or domestic people that might want to travel out to London. So
I'm actually thinking about it too. I'm like, ooh, that could be a lot of fun.
Jake, you and Mac can go to the Royal Albert Hall website, search for the Grand Sumo Tournament, and click Notify Me in order to get ticket information immediately. So click the Notify Me button under the Grand Sumo Tournament page, and that way you'll get ticket information immediately when it becomes available.
I got to finally pull the trigger and get laminated badges that look like there's some sort of official media thing printed off for the Grand Sumo Breakdown team.
GSB press.
Just put the word press on there. Is there like a legal definition of what is and isn't press? We probably qualify.
I mean,
have your photo in a corner, just say press with a GSB logo down on the bottom, laminate that, put it on you got it.
Seriously. Like, I'm not even kidding. That's exactly what I have already designed in Canva.
Oh my God.
It was as a joke, but then as soon as I finished it, I'm like, if I printed that and put it on a lanyard, nobody would stop me walking anywhere. I could just like go places. Yeah, I would be like the guy with the furrowed brow and the clipboard, like the old Seinfeld joke. You just let that guy go anywhere. Like he's clearly busy and important.
Yeah, it's like when you're stealing a TV from a store, as you're wont to do, just don't get a cart or anything, hold it, be clearly struggling with it, and have just like something that looks like a receipt held in your mouth, and they'll just let you walk on out. I'm pretty sure that's how it
They
works.
might even help you carry it.
Exactly.
We say as we like debatably encourage crime.
That's about to say, whoa.
Yeah, time out.
Time out.
What's that? Our lawyer says we're going to have to edit that section out.
Damn it.
That sounds like too much work. We'll just pay the legal fees.
No, we'll just pay the fee.
Yeah.
Pay the fine. Pay the fine.
And what's that face, Jake?
I read ahead in what the injuries are.
Oh, yes. We'll get there. Don't spoil yourself on the injuries.
What injuries?
Mac, don't look. Don't spoil yourself.
I'm not looking.
Save your innocence for a few more minutes.
This is I don't know.
That'll be an early Christmas present. All right, so the only other thing we have to talk about is the ongoing Jungyo tour that is happening. It is 15 days of tour events from that was starting December 1st through December 21st. I believe there's only one more day left. I think they had an event the 17th, and their last one is going to be the 21st. So this Jungyo tour is almost over, just in time for the Rikishi to get back home for the holidays. And there are several Rikishi having to sit out the Jungyo tour due to a myriad of injuries, some more entertaining than others. I say entertaining as a guy in America sitting and talking about it and not experiencing it. Obviously, this sucks for all of these guys.
To really appropriately quote Samuel L. Jackson in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butt, Mac. This is going to get weird. Yeah.
Some of these Rikishi might also have to hold on to their butt.
No.
Kirishima.
Hence the quote.
Kirishima is out due to right wrist tendonitis. Koto Shoho is out due to a broken toe that he suffered in the Basho. He had to pull out of day 15. I think it was just day 15. It might have been a little bit more than that, but he broke his toe during the Basho, so he's still out and recovering. Takayasu is out for standard Takayasu reasons. He's got chronic back pain and a right ankle sprain.
He spontaneously combusted.
That's what I'm saying. Nope. Slowly imploding.
He has that like no skin thing that we mentioned earlier that horse oil is good for.
Yeah. Takeru Fuji has cellulitis and skin ulcers in the lower leg of his right leg. So that doesn't sound
You gotta
fun.
like finish typing before you try and read this, Ryan.
I'm glad I'm not reading this.
I've been moving them around for like these last 4 to just like in order of entertainment.
Again with the entertaining thing. This is making
The
me
fact
squirm.
that I've scrolled ahead, he's right. Like I think you've got a good order here. I think he's nailed it. For dramatic purposes, he's got it.
Asakoryu is also out for lumbar vertebrae herniated disc. So he's got some back issues.
Yeah.
And then
suck.
Meisei has cervical spondylotic radiculopathy.
Pardon?
I linked that one because I needed to know what that was. So I have a link. Cervical spondylosis is caused by degenerative disc disease and usually produces intermittent neck pain in middle-aged and elderly patients or sumo wrestlers.
It specifically says sumo wrestlers?
No. But I added that because Meisei isn't exactly middle-aged or elderly, so.
Yeah.
Oh, but degenerative discs. Ugh.
I was hoping that radiculopathy meant that he was becoming more radical somehow, but like
Bill and Ted are silent. They're just going, excellent.
Unfortunately not. His neck hurts.
Yep. Not excellent.
It is most non-heinous.
There it is. Been too long since I've watched that movie.
So second to last is Bushozan, who has hand, foot, and mouth disease, which I need to look that up again.
That's like a toddler thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful. It sucks.
It's awful, but it's like it's primarily something you get as like a toddler. It's super contagious.
Unless you're me, and then you get it on your honeymoon, and it
or
sucks.
You got hand, foot, mouth on your honeymoon?
Yes, literally.
What are you and your wife into? Oh my god!
No, I was around my buddy's toddler.
Hands, feet, and mouths.
I never got it when I was a kid.
So yeah, hand, foot, and mouth disease, for those who aren't aware, it is common in children under 5, but anybody can get it. No judgment, Mac. Anybody can get it. It's just common among the 5 and under crowd.
I hate you both.
The illness is usually not serious, but it is very contagious. So worrying that Bushozan, competing against
came
people.
back to the Basho after being out with this.
Yeah,
that is not good.
Shocked we haven't seen just a huge outbreak of hand, foot, mouth. Apparently, everybody else got it when they were under 5 years old, like a normal person. Mac, come on.
Is it a virus? Is it one that you get one time and that's it?
I have no idea.
It depends on the strain, but yes, it's one of those that you get it and then you suffer for about a week and then it goes away.
And then you're probably fine for a while.
Yeah, it's like chicken pox.
Yep, it causes fever, mouth sores, and skin rash.
Yeah, the mouth sores is the thing that makes it totally...
And blisters on your hands and blisters on the bottom of your feet.
Absolutely brutal for a kid to get before they really understand like what being sick is all about. They just hurt all the time. Editor's note, skip ahead about a minute if you are squeamish. This next one's a little gross.
All right. And the last one, Chura no Umi, is also out for an anal fistula. That is a small tunnel that develops between the end of the bowel and the skin near the opening of the anus.
Ah, what?
Yeah.
Why?
Don't know. Well, why? Usually an infection near the anus, which results in a collection of pus in the nearby tissue. We need
Jesus
to put a content warning on this one.
Why?
We need a content warning that a little.
Let's find the timestamp for this one.
Yeah, sorry about not.
No.
If you don't like the words anus and pus.
Does anyone?
Hey, You got hand, foot, and mouth on your honeymoon, Mac. People are into some stuff.
I hate you so much.
Oh
This is
god,
going
I
off the
guess
rails.
Mac getting a toddler disease on his honeymoon is like absolutely has to go into the GSB pantheon of inside jokes.
Ugh.
Oh,
Alongside Sumo DB being down for the entire
Alongside
day.
Sumo DB being dead.
yep, still down.
Just gotta check every now and then.
All right, so moving on from anal fistulas, Terano Fuji is back on the dohyo on the 13th of December. He took part in some practice bouts on a Jungyo Tour event for the first time since April. He called out Ono Sato, and they went 4-4 against each other. So Terano Fuji seems like he's back on track to compete in January. Him doing practice bouts, and especially on the Jungyo Tour, is a very good sign that he will try to compete in January. As in the April Jungyo Tour, he took part in practice bouts, competed in Natsu, and won. No, he didn't win Natsu. That was Ono Sato. But yeah, he actually pulled out of Natsu.
So this is not as good a sign as you thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I remember like he was participating in the Jungyo bouts, and then like there was a practice in front of like the YDC, and like he like weirdly had pulled out of it, and he like strained something. So he was looking good leading up to Natsu, but then he ended up hurting himself, and I think he pulled out after like 1 or 2 days in May. But other than that, Koto Sakura is fighting. He's aiming for Yokozuna. That he's said that's his goal. But I mean, what Ozeki that just won a Yusho isn't gonna say that that's their goal.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Hoshoryu, he's out. He's competing on the Jungyo Tour, and but don't ask him about that last match against Koto Sakura. He does not want to talk about it. He says he's put it out of his mind, but also he don't want to talk about it. He's moved on, and he's looking forward. He was disappointed in his 2024, is what he had said. He didn't win a U show. He was disappointed in his results, and he wants to do better moving forward into 2025.
Classic Rikshi. I love it.
And that's all the news that I've got for you guys. I scoured Sumo DB, I scoured Nikon Sports, and tried to sift through all the Google translated stuff to find some good nuggets. And this is all I'm coming up with. It's a slow month. We're getting ready for Christmas and New Year's, so I'm happy with a slow month of news to update on. When there's no scandals abound, it's always a good month to
Agreed.
talk about the news.
Yeah. A good opportunity for some hanging out and riffing, as opposed to like, and yeah, he's gonna have to retire because of this scandal, and like, no, we get to just dick around and talk about Onosha, who was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm glad that I don't know. I don't feel like he was beaten down and completely ground into dust the way that some other guys get when they retire. He seemed to he certainly wasn't like healthy, of course, because he's been out he'd been dropping pretty precipitously, but he wasn't I definitely don't feel like we watched him kill himself to try and extend his career. So I hope that he's still I hope that being as young as he is, he and Takakeisho can both recover, have long, healthy lives, and maybe Takakeisho gets into horse oil and they can renew their rivalry going forward again.
he gets into a rival.
My
horse
brand is
oil
better.
company.
No, my brand.
My brand of horse oil.
One could only dream. But yeah, I think that is going to wrap up Grand Sumo Breakdown for 2024. Off chance that a Bonsuke review comes out, but as Jake and I said
Roughly
on the
New
Bonsuke
Year's,
episode, yeah, with the week of Christmas and New Year's, we're just going to be busy and traveling a whole lot. So it's probably going to be a late Bonsuke review on this one, which, you know what, after how bad I know I'm going to do on this Bonsuke, not a bad thing. Gives me some time to accept that fact.
We put out a good amount of stuff. I'm impressed with what we've been able to do this month. But yeah, it'll probably be
smart and did it early this year, as opposed to trying to pack it in right before New Year's.
Yep. But yeah, after New Year's, we'll have the Amateur Sumo Awards. We'll have our Bonsuke review and the preview of the Basho all coming out right away in that beginning of the year.
And the 2025 predictions.
Yep,
And
I
the
was about to say we got to do a prediction
2025 predictions. Yep.
episode.
Do another short one like this. Yeah. But yeah, no, thanks for putting this one together, Ryan. I like I've been enjoying our, even if it's only the second time, I like the news updates. It kind of helps things stay front of mind in the off
Yeah,
season.
stay current.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoy diving into it. My goal through this is to understand ultimately the system and hierarchy of Tokoyama in sumo. I know that didn't come up at all on this episode, but that is my ultimate goal. I want to learn all about the hairdressers, and I will diligently report any updates from now on. Like any
You better.
new,
Yeah.
any new Tokoyama, any retiring Tokoyama, any promotions for Tokoyama. We're gonna be your one-stop shop for all Rikishi hairdresser news.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So I noticed that Ryan and I are quite festive, at least right now. We are wearing our Christmas sweaters. Now, Jake, where is yours?
I couldn't find my Christmas sweater, but when I saw what you guys were wearing as we were getting prepped, I did find a Christmas shirt.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yep. I think it, based on the temperature of this office, probably a little bit more comfortable than if I was wearing a sweater in here.
Yeah, I never wear long sleeves unless I'm outside and it's really cold. And so like I'm very uncomfortable wearing this sweater. I don't like having things on my arms.
I don't
like
want
being
things
free.
touching my wrists. Oh.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, you guys can get out of your Christmas sweaters, and I will continue
Thank
wearing
you.
exactly what I'm wearing and already be comfortable.
I wear this all the time.
It's time
I
for
like
me to time for me to change into my pajamas. And with that being said, thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time, throw your salt high and keep moving forward.